Realme's first foray into the world of Android tablets is a budget option that is squarely aimed at education and entertainment. Welcome, the aptly named Realme Pad. Well, my name is Ashad, you're watching MySmartPrice, and let's find out if the Realme Pad can shake up the Android tablet space or not in my full review. But before we move on, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon right next to it to get notified whenever MySmartPrice puts out an awesome new tech video, because we're trying to hit 100k soon and we really need all your support. Now, to keep the costs low, Realme only bundles the iPad itself, the 18-watt charger, and a Type A to Type C charging cable in the box. Nothing else. No case, screen guard, or earphones. Although I'm fine with the sparse packaging. Now, moving on to the design, the Realme Pad is chiseled from aluminium and looks pretty clean from the back. Although this design is kind of stale now and has been done to death. As for the color variants, it is available in grey and gold. So I cannot really stand that gold variant, to be entirely honest. I like this grey one. What's your preference? Let me know in the comment section below. On the rear, you'll find the single camera placed on the top left corner and the neat Realme logo tucked away at the bottom right. There's also this weird silver streak that cuts through the camera, which I'm not really a fan of. But what I am a fan of is the slim 6.9mm frame, which when coupled with the 440g weight feels extremely light to hold and use for long durations. Realme has done a good job with the ergonomics in my opinion, but yes, sometimes thanks to the metal body and the smooth finish, it does feel slippery, so don't forget to hold it with a very tight grip. Now, talking about the front fascia, Realme really anticipates users to use this tablet in landscape mode. You can tell this from the fact that the power button is at the corner of the top edge and the volume rocker is just hanging from the ledge around that corner. Plus, the front camera is on the right bezel, which is the top bezel when you hold it horizontally. By the way, there is no fingerprint scanner, but you can use the front camera to identify your face and unlock the device. Interestingly, this camera registers your face in horizontal orientation, but it works flawlessly to recognize you even in vertical orientation. It's just supremely fast, responsive, and works 10 out of 10 times. What I also like about the design is the uniform bezels around the display and the quad speaker setup, 2 on the top and 2 at the bottom. As for the card tray, on the right edge, it accepts a nano SIM card and a micro SD card as well, which means you do get expandable storage if you so need it. Now, at the bottom edge is a Type-C 2.0 port, but the oddest placement is the headphone port that sits right at the bottom left curvature. Be careful when you insert your headphones because the jack doesn't go in at an angle. You still need to insert it straight. I learned it the hard way by making a mistake. So yeah, the design of the Realme Pad is clean, inoffensive and functional, if slightly dated, plus the build quality feels really good too. Now, the 10.4-inch IPS LCD panel has a resolution of 2000 by 1200, which is a weird WUXGA plus resolution, and a max brightness of 360 nits. Now, I checked and it touched 300 odd nits in my brightness test, but that's with the brightness slider set to maximum. I'm presuming adaptive brightness can help it reach the rated 360 nits. For indoor use, this display is pretty bright for watching shows on Netflix and Prime, plus it looks fairly vibrant too. But remember that you don't get HDR support. And if you want to read books on Amazon's Kindle app, there's a special reader mode. I really made good use of it. And if you're a night owl, you can use the nightlight mode, which can drop the brightness of the display to as low as 2 nits. But if you've come this far and if you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button and maybe even comment below, because YouTube's algorithm actually pushes this video to more people searching for such content. I do have a few complaints though. Firstly, there is no option in the software to tune the colors, and secondly, the oleophobic coating is terrible. It smudges very easily and which affects the visibility. And finally, the adaptive brightness is not tuned properly. Many times it would drop the brightness without any rhyme or reason while scrolling through my Twitter feed. Now, a couple of the problems can be solved with a software update, but as for the problem with the sticky oleophobic coating, there's always a next time. But otherwise, I have no such major qualms with the display of the Realme Pad. Now, to add to the whole multimedia experience, the quad speaker setup, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom, which actually becomes left and right channel when you hold it in the horizontal position, is tuned very well and it sounds pretty spacious too. The stereo separation is also very good. In fact, I felt that the sound quality is almost on par with some of the premium tablets that I've tested. Plus, the support for Dolby Atmos actually elevates the whole experience. Okay, less talking and you guys listen to it for yourself. Although I was disappointed by the high-res audio claim by Realme. Now the headphone jack performance was pretty lackluster in my testing, and I couldn't even make the fairly friendly Meze 99 Classics sound even half decent. And for some reason my Shanling UA2 and external high-res Type-C DAC failed to work with the tablet. Alright, first things first about the software. Realme is taking a huge liberty by calling the software on the Realme Pad Realme UI for Pad. It is basically just clean stock Android 11. Now if I were a software engineer with Realme, I'd probably take a sabbatical to the mountains, switch off all my access to the outside world and sit with the Realme Pad wondering why did we choose this naming logic? And like I mentioned, there is nothing new here because it basically is an enlarged version of Android 11 for the phone. Even split screen multitasking is possible on phones. Heck, we don't even have Realme UI's familiar assistive ball here. Realme hasn't spent a second tuning the software for an enhanced tablet experience. And here's the twist in the tale. That's quite okay, because if Realme were to add more software features like multi-windows or an extra dock, the hardware inside it wouldn't be able to support those features and it won't be able to work smoothly either. Plus, let's not forget that this is completely bloatware free. All you get are Google's apps. Anyway, in my time with the tablet, most apps opened without an issue except for Apple Music. It kept crashing. I've reported the issue with Realme. Let's see if they can fix it. By the way, Realme is really keen on creating a safe space for your kids and therefore asks outright while setting it up who is going to use the device, an adult or a child. Then you have support for Kids Space that lets you create a separate supervised account and offers a very easy user interface with preloaded content that your kids are bound to enjoy. Plus, there are built-in parental controls as well. Evidently, one of the most important use cases for a tablet is video calls, and the 8 megapixel fixed focus camera on the front does a fairly decent job of it. It's not exactly very crisp and sharp with the 1080p 30 fps video, but it is very wide and that helps create a good frame even at close quarters. Now the two mics on the Realme Pad have no problem picking your voice, especially if it is close to your face, but if you have placed it somewhere really far, then there is some trouble and you might have to speak on top of your voice and the person on the other end will be able to hear you clearly only then. Now there's also an 8 megapixel rear camera which can come in handy for scanning documents. That's about it, because don't expect it to capture good pictures. Like, they remind me of cameras from the early days of the smartphone. Now the Realme Pad derives all the processing power from a MediaTek Helio G80 system on chip, and our unit has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of eMMC 5.1 storage. Now these are the best specs that you can find on a budget tablet under Rs 20,000, but considering the everyday performance, I really wish that there was some more power on tap. Maybe even a Qualcomm Snapdragon 720G or a Helio G95 would have helped. Because the tablet does feel slightly sluggish to use. You have to make peace with it. And games run fine, but graphics intensive tasks like Call of Duty run on medium graphics at best. But casual games run really well and your kid is going to have a blast breaking things by catapulting Angry Birds in the air. Overall, for the purpose of education and entertainment, which is what Realme is pitching, I'd say that the power on tap will suffice. But if you want to game on this tablet, you will have to keep your expectation in check or maybe spend more on a different tablet. 4G LTE performance was pretty decent on the Realme Pad. You can even make calls on it, but only using the speaker or an attached wired/Bluetooth earpiece, but it works. However, the Wi-Fi performance on the 5 GHz network wasn't very good. Now, I also decided to run the test in the first place because sometimes images on Twitter would take time to load or a website would take ages to open. Now, talking about the battery life, I really like the fact that despite being just 6.9 millimeters thick, it offers a 7100 mAh battery inside it, and that battery can last for days. I couldn't drain it in my 7 days with the Realme Pad after charging it to 100%. So it lasts you, obviously it was mixed usage, but it can last you about 7 to 10 hours of screen on time, so that's really good. Plus it can reverse charge other devices as well, so that's an advantage. Plus you get 18-watt fast charging, which is the fastest solution that you can find in this price range. The Realme Pad does achieve what it sets out to do, and that is to provide you with a good multimedia experience and of course offer you good video conferencing chops as well. See, this is not an Android tablet that disrupts the Android tablet market or anything, but when you're considering budget options under Rs 20,000, this to me is the best option out there. And Realme could achieve that because this is a barren playing field and it didn't have to even try too hard. Now the closest best option that you can find in this price range is of course the Tab A7 from Samsung, which is the 2020 edition. No other tablet is even worth your time. But the Tab A7 2020, for the price of the Realme Pad, you actually get only the 3GB 32GB variant, whereas this is the 4GB 64GB Wi-Fi plus LTE variant of the Realme Pad that you get. That's only the Wi-Fi variant. Plus the Realme Pad does a few things better, which is it provides you a faster G80 SoC, it provides faster charging speeds as well, and the display, the IPS LCD panel is better than the TFT panel on the Samsung Tab A7. More importantly, you can get the 3GB 32GB Wi-Fi only variant of the Realme Pad if it becomes available for as low as 13,999, plus there are bank offers on top of it. I really cannot think that there is any other tablet better than the Realme Pad under rupees 20,000 at the moment. Having said that, if you do manage to find a very good deal on an iPad for under rupees 20,000 or even around the 25,000 mark, then I would suggest that, and if you can spend for it, then I would suggest that please go ahead and pick up an iPad, because the iPad is still a far more cohesive and expansive tablet experience compared to Android tablets. So yes, I will not contest that decision whatsoever. So what do you guys think of the Realme Pad? Do you guys like it? Will you end up buying it? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, this is Aishar from MySmartPrice signing off. Goodbye and Godspeed, my friends.